I'm gonna do the work for you. So when after I get done cussing your ass out, I'm like that motherfucker right there. And I was like, well, I do like Kush. So I was like Kush.
You got like the perfect name. Like I always see it. I'm like, oh, I love that name when I see it come on. What's going on, Leon? How you doing tonight? Um, Metron. I don't know if I've ever seen you before, but how you doing? We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get this thing rolling in just a second. We letting some of our people come up in here. LA, how you doing tonight? What in the world happened here? Don't tell me the doggone space stuff. We're not. Hold on. Had almost lost the space for a second, y'all. Like, had almost lost the space. Like, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, Twitter's still been messing up.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just as I was getting ready to let Leon come up to speak, then the damn thing went black and just came back on it. I had a chance to reconnect. You know, you got to reconnect after a while, or else you're gonna lose the space. So I don't know what happened now. I'm like, okay, Black Native, how you doing?
Black Native, yeah, she's up in here. Sun Kid's by there. She is right there.
Yeah, Sun Kiss, what's going on as well, too? What's going on as well? Our people starting to come up in here. Y'all know it's election night. Your boy Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker back, and we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about this new immigration deal that they're trying to put together. You got a bipartisan agreement, or you got support. You got a Republican senator and a Democratic senator trying to get together and form a new immigration deal. We're going to see how that works. They're trying to get it passed in the lame duck session. We also going to be talking about Twitter Spaces as well, too. Are Twitter Spaces, are they toxic? So I definitely want to get everybody's opinion on that. Are the Twitter Spaces being productive, or are they just toxic, or what? Y'all let us know. So we got 3 topics, the area we want to cover. We're going to keep up on the election right now. Raphael Warnock has a lead on Herschel Walker. I think maybe about 38-39% of the voters in. And he's leading. And last I looked, he was up maybe about 53 to 40 something percent. So we're going to keep updated on that. We're going to talk about that. How y'all doing tonight? Black Native, what's going on, sister?
What's going on, Newstoter? Yeah, I was just in a space with MF Kush and it just disappeared. Like these spaces, I don't know what's going on, if they're revamping Twitter and that's why we're having all these issues. Or is it, I don't know. It's something that I've seen lately for the past maybe 2 weeks.
Hold on, Rob got a phone call. I think that's why that shit cut out.
Oh, my bad. What's up, Mr. Professor? What's up, DJ? Now, look, I'm going to speak on Warnock and Walker. If either one wins, how is that going to affect the Black American sector that's in Georgia? Because Herschel Walker, this dude was talking about vampires and werewolves and, talking about he believes that white white people that fought in the Civil War should get reparations. And his mother told him that. So I guess his mom's was a coon and she, had a baby coon turned into an adult male coon. So I'm just trying to see what is the difference between the two, except for one we know might have a concussion. What's the excuse for Warnock?
You got a lot of Black people in Georgia that like Warnock. Hell, my niece, she goes to his church. She goes to Raphael Warnock Church. I didn't learn that until a couple of weeks ago, but yeah, my niece, she actually attends his church. But one way or another, they're going to have a Black representative, and you know how Black people are. As long as we have somebody that looks like us in a place of power, we think that reflects good on us. Most Black people, we all know that Herschel Walker, isn't the brightest light bulb in the room. So that's one thing that kind of knocks him down. But at the same time, I know there's a lot of Black people that's not all that keen on Raphael Warnock as well too. But Raphael Warnock, you think he's at Martin Luther King's old church, which is a historical church. So he gets loved that way. And there's people that really believe that Raphael. In terms of just political, I think I would have to say that Raphael is definitely a better candidate than Herschel Walker, but neither one of them, like you said, neither one of them not going to really do anything for Black people, because Warnock, whenever you ask him something specifically for Black people, he tries to go ahead and avoid that question as much as possible. So he has to go ahead and pretty much, try to keep face and stay along with his party lines, which is to try to be as neutral when it comes to anything of real substance for black people. DJ, I see you had your hand up. What's up?
Nah, I just changed my emojis back. You know, I had to clear out this Twitter cache or whatever to get it to work, and I came in the room twice and just couldn't hear anything. But what's good, everybody?
Yeah, what's good, man? Leon, you go ahead, and then Black Native, you go ahead.
Black Native girl, ladies first.
Oh, that's so sweet. We still have gentlemen in the world.
Queen Latifah.
So, did Warnock get elected to be the pastor of that church? And do you think he's riding off the coattails of MLK because he has, what is that? What's the name? What is that? What's the name of the church? I forgot.
Ebenezer.
Yeah, Baptist Church. So, do you think that because that was Martin Luther King's church, that somehow gives him credibility with black people, even though we know, and hopefully the people in Georgia know that he's really not going to do anything specifically for black people because like you said, when he's asked that question, he either walks away or he ignores it. So, is it clout that you think is that he's riding on the coattails of Martin Luther King Jr.?
Absolutely. I mean, Ebenezer, I'm sure it's probably the most in terms of black churches. It would have to be one of the top, one of the most historical black churches in all of Atlanta, all of Georgia, period. And you're talking about, I think, Dr. King, and I'm not sure if Andrew Young went there as well too. So you're the actual preacher of Ebenezer. That's going to carry major clout in that area. It's going to carry major clout. So yeah, it can't hurt. It's a big factor and whatnot. Even remember we did that space and we was talking about how they were slinging mud, and you had the actual report come out. And if you live down here, because I'm in Tallahassee, but we get also I'm in North Florida, which you consider almost South Georgia. So we see the absolutely like mud slinging, the commercials and stuff they had. One day they dogging Herschel Walk out, the next day they dogging Warnock out. They got Warnock's ex-wife on there talking about what he did to her and this and that. I mean, this has been one of the most personal, dirty ran campaigns that you see at all time. Like, with the white candidates, they're slinging mud and stuff like that, but a lot of times they keep it on the political scene. But this is personal here. They're talking about people paying for abortions and putting guns upside women's heads and this and that, and the family this and how they feel about this. And you got Warnock ex-wife on there talking about he tried to run her over and stuff like that. Like, this has been a pretty nasty ran campaign right here. I mean, they have not pulled any punches. It's been really dirty. Like, and I'm seeing these ads daily. It has been really nasty, really dirty, really personal. And you wish it could have kind of been a little bit different. Like I said, I'm not a fan of either one of them, but it's been personal. Like, they have gone after each other. They have gone for the jugular. It's been no mercy whatsoever the way they show them. But absolutely, Black Native. It definitely, how people are too. And like I say, Dr. King, he was revered and stuff. So if you're the head of that church that he was the head of, and it's going to carry major cachet with the people in Atlanta. Like, that just, it's going to carry major cachet. So, and that's what it's doing for him. Like I say, last I looked, he had an actual, I think he had 53% of the vote or something like that. So he's winning at this point. But right now, I think only 38% of the vote was in. We're going to check with CNN again just to see exactly where they're at. But yeah, it holds major weight. It definitely holds major weight. I think you can't take that for granted. But either way, like I say, a lot of black people feel that, hey, and of course, Warnock was already the senator, but either way, they feel like it's a win because you're going to have a black senator or whatever. So most people felt that Warnock was a favorite to win. Walker had his best chance to close it out in the main election, in the midterms, and the fact that you had a runoff shows you how close it was. But now you got all the absentee votes coming in and everything else, and the ballots are being counted. So it's going to be interesting to see how close this actual this runoff actually is right here as well too. Leon, go ahead and unmute your mic, and we're gonna get to you, Professor. Peace to everybody coming in the room. Peace to Tony. Peace to Rod.
Peace to everybody. Newstoter, Black Native, Professor, DJ, Niobe. Let's see. I'm a Ray, daughter. What's going on, people? I'm gonna start with the Twitter Spaces. As far as being toxic, yes. Why I say that? Because it's just too much drama. You have too many people running on here trying to think they the Black Messiah. In every part of the group, DJ laughing at me, but you know what I'm talking about, DJ. Come on, man, you can't front, man. Are they trying to be like the Black Messiah? Come on, man.
I am your Leon. Hear my prayers.
That's why I had to step back. I had to step back from a lot of that, man, because it's like, all right, we're starting to lose focus, man. Let's stop this tribalism, because we always keep preaching about, oh, we don't do tribalism in America. But if you think about how you got freedmen and the tribe and B1 and all that, that's kind of almost a beginning form of tribalism. And nobody wants to bend. Nobody wants to come to a unified front. Everybody wants to do their own thing and say, well, this is this and this is such and such, and it shouldn't be that way. So I'll land there. Immigration deal, I hate it. I looked at it. I don't know what they're trying to do besides trying to phase us out of the equation. And Warnock or Walker is not going to do nothing for neither of us. Neither guy is going to do anything for us. So I'll land there.
All right, Leon. I'm glad that you went ahead and you touched up on that subject as well too about the Twitter Spaces, because I want to hear your honest opinion, how you think the space is going. That there should be a time for unity and whatnot as much as possible. Everybody's not going to always agree with each other and whatnot, but I think we kind of getting short-sighted and losing focus on the major issue, which is we're supposed to be trying to get reparations, and not only reparations. I don't just say reparations; I say Black empowerment as well too, like economically and in terms of everything that we can think of. We need to be trying to go ahead in terms of justice and whatnot. So, I've been in a lot of Twitter spaces. I used to go in a lot. I don't go in many at all now, but I miss when people were talking about constructive things and this and that and stuff like that. I like to see us get back to that point when we're talking about some constructive things that's going to benefit us as a people. So, yeah, man, I can't really disagree with you on that. It's a lot of division. I know we say we don't, like you say, we don't do the tribal stuff, man, but you got to remember too, man, we're on a white-owned platform. No matter, and I know a lot of times we have a platform on a platform. We have to remember that, like, this is a white-owned platform. This now Elon Musk owns this. I mean, come on, Elon Musk comes from an apartheid society. I mean, are we seriously? Yeah, this is Newstoter's Twitter space, but make no doubt about this. This Twitter space is not our Twitter space. We just guess here. Okay. This is not ours. We as guests or whatever, we can feel like, well, this is mine. This is it. At the end of the day, whenever these people want to go ahead and suspend your account or ban you permanently with the snap of their fingers, they can do that. So most of us only have been suspended at times or another. So yeah, like I say, I like to get back to more constructive things and things that's going to be beneficial to us as well. To shout out to Black Majority State coming up in here, Mr. Engaging. Shout out to the people that's coming up in the space. Y'all come up in the space. Please tweet the space out. I put up in the Jumbotron a couple articles about Raphael Warnock and about the immigration and things of that nature. And what in the world was Herschel Walker? He was ripping his son earlier, man. In the article I posted, he was talking about that Christian was dumb. He was dumb as a brick. He was ugly and he had a long head and he looked like an alien from the X-Files. And I'm like, yo, you getting ready? You running for politics? You running for office or for a Senate? As a father, you kind of got to go ahead and ignore that stuff that your son said and try to focus on the bigger goal. Like, hey, Christian, after the election, we'll go ahead and we'll handle this as a family or whatever. But to be dissing your son and whatnot, and we know Christian is a character and whatnot, but I just don't see how that can really help your case. You trying to hold a major seat in the politics, you being a senator of Georgia, and you sitting up here exchanging, just jabs with your son. I know your son kind of threw you on the bus. He talked about this and that, how you really just was faking it. But, that should have been a conversation in private that father and son should have had. And you're like, look, Christian, we don't do things like that. You have an issue with me. Yeah, I might not have been the best father. I might suck, whatever. But go ahead, son, and just sit me to the side or whatever. You don't want to be involved in the campaign. I feel you. Let me go ahead and step away from it. But you don't have to throw your dad under the bus, especially at this time that's crucial. So I just found that to be crazy, man. That's something you rarely see in politics. We talk about the dynamic of white people, black people, but you rarely see a white family member, a child, just come and throw their father under the bus like that when they have so much riding on it. A lot of people don't think Herschel Walker is going to win one way or another, but just to go ahead and kick him like that. And I'm no Herschel Walker fan in the least bit, but I really didn't understand that. I really don't understand why Herschel Walker would go ahead and Herschel Walker's damn near 60 years old or whatever, to sit up here and just exchange these kind of jabs or whatever. Like I could see Donald Trump doing something like that, but Donald Trump could get away with something like that, but Herschel Walker can't. So that was just, to me, in my mindset, was just, just was ridiculous. Let me go ahead and kick it to Professor. Let me let MF Kush go. We got the ladies. Let's go. Let her go, and then we'll get to you, Professor.
Oh shit! Thank you. Shout out to everybody in the room. Y'all smell good. All that great stuff. So Warnock and Walker, they both slow as hell. Not fucking with it. New immigration policy bill. Yeah, definitely not fucking with that either. Because like Leon said, all they're trying to do is just replace us and try to make sure we don't have a say in some shit, which is really interesting. Now we'll go to these toxic black Twitter spaces. Now listen, spaces can be productive, yes. I've seen spaces literally have a great dialogue and a great flow and great conversation with great people in there. But also there's the flip side of it where I see a lot of people get into these clickbait title rooms and they sit in these rooms just to sit up and listen to the bullshit and it has nothing to do with what our objective is. And I'm a firm believer in if you want to change something about yourself, a vibe about yourself, you have to surround yourself with people or things that are aligned with that. Um, and in reality, okay, fine, send a clickbait room every now and then, but when it's a continuous thing, that energy starts to get into your spirit. Then you start bringing that shit at home, and it's just not cool no more. It's something has to change about it. I think people understand who we're speaking about or who was involved and all that, but I'm a firm believer in majority of people sitting in this room who follow me and I follow y'all and I've watched y'all. Y'all know what to look out for, and y'all see the signs. And a lot of us managed to dodge that, but I wouldn't sit in no clickbait title room. Honestly, it's not productive. It's nothing to gain from it. I wouldn't even let my kids listen to it, and my kids listen to y'all on Twitter. So yeah, but I learned. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. I just think sometimes with social media, man, you have to just kind of take a you got kind of take a break away from it and try to charge your battery up and stuff like that. That's why Monday through Thursday we go ahead and do the Twitter Spaces, and go ahead and occasionally we'll do one on Sunday and stuff like that. But in terms of the amount of content, I'm posting a bunch of content on here and this and that, and we're doing the Twitter Spaces. So you kind of need a little break to kind of recharge your battery, because some of the stuff you see, you just like, oh man, like, come on, y'all. Let's not even get caught up in all of this stuff. Let's just go ahead and use the content and the information and stuff like that to go ahead and try to strengthen our people. Like, it can really physically and emotionally just drain you, emotionally more so than anything like that. So it's like I said, so many different things that we could be talking about in this country, in this world, in our community and whatnot that, would actually have a pretty positive impact on our people. Let's just go ahead and try to stay focused on that as much as possible, because you go ahead and you screw this up here, you can't sit up here and blame anybody else. You can't say, well, they came and they tore this down from the inside, and you see how they infiltrate and this and that. This is going to be squarely on black people right here, man. Like, there's things that online that we're talking about that the average black people really, day to day, not really talking about. So there's ways that we can even impact our people that don't even have a Twitter profile or don't do social media and stuff like that. So I think we should go ahead and use our influence and try to use it to be beneficial, as much as possible. That's just my 2 cents. Professor, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, thank you, that Newstoter. Once again, brother, thank you for hosting a great space. DJ, as always, good to see you, man. Great late night space, as always. You the late night star, man. I'm telling you now, you have taken over the Twitter late night star right here, the host with the most. That's DJ. Now, with that being said, Newstoter, and I know you and I, DJ, we have talked about the way these spaces are, and y'all, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I first came back to Twitter in June, I think it was June, or maybe it was May. I came into these rooms and I would listen to people talk about reparations, but then all of a sudden the rooms would erupt into chaos. You hear people start calling names and they were fighting over little petty shit, and then you start seeing the doxing of people, people putting other folks' private information out there. And I said, damn, this shit is crazy, man. Like people getting personal about some Triller shit. And I couldn't understand it because I thought really we was just coming in here really trying to get reparations out into the forefront, which is what we all are passionate about, right? And we're passionate about other Black American issues such as police reform, getting that qualified immunity removed from the police, which is what's keeping them protected, okay? As long as they have that, it keeps them protected with what they doing out here to us, okay? And let's talk about immigration. See, all of this is important issues to Black America. And I came into these spaces thinking that's what everybody was focused on. But then everybody got into the personal, everything, just personal, all kinds of personal stuff. Who you sleep with, and I don't want to date Black men. I was hearing all this kind of shit. And I was like, damn. Like, man, I came over here just to really learn some stuff, man. I really don't give a damn who y'all fucking with or who you sleep with. I don't give a shit. And I don't appreciate when people come up in these spaces talking about, well, I don't want to fuck with a Black man. See, that shit's crazy. I don't want to hear that. Hey, if you don't like Black men, keep that to yourself. Same with the Black men. If you don't like Black women, keep that shit to yourself. All your little personal gripes and shit, you keep into yourself. All we trying to do is get this money, get this bag. You hear me? That's what we all about, getting bags. So our people can be restored from the mental instability that the United States has caused us for so many years. That's all I think we should be on. If anything, this is why I like Newstoter. This is why I got close with him and DJ, Black Majority, Ray, Black Native, Leon, Sister Trouble, No Taxation. I'm naming off people that have that same drive and energy that I have gotten so close to. I call them my Black American extended family, okay? Because they have the same like mind. That's what you have to have, is like mind people that want to keep fighting and building up this media platform for Newstoter so we can keep our information out there for the world to see what's going on and also to educate our people. I land my plane right there.
Real quick, Professor, I got to ask you, what you think about before I let you go, what you think about the immigration and of course tonight we got Warnock and Walker. We're going to give an update. Like I said last time, I believe Herschel had like 53% of the vote. So those two issues real quick before we pass it to Mr. Engaging in Volvo. Just go ahead and let us know what you think about this. You got this, you got the Democrat senator and the Republican senator, Tom Tills and Christian Cinema trying to go ahead and do a bipartisan deal and trying to go ahead and trying to get this DACA thing straightened out and everything like that of that nature. So what do you think about that issue real quick? Because I'm going to touch up on that article as well too. I'm going to read it for everybody when I get a chance. But I want everybody just to go ahead and kind of come in and kick it or whatever and just say what they feel. But what do you feel about the this new immigration deal that they're trying to go ahead and sneak it through? Which is not. I don't even think it's going to make it to the floor. Even if it makes it to the floor, I doubt it's going to pass. But they're trying to sneak it in this lame duck session. What do you feel about that, Professor?
I don't think that it's going to pass. I think it's going to end up, it might get on into the little conference and people talk about it and they put it all out in the media for people to kind of wonder about it. But I think it's going to pass. No, I don't think it's going to pass. And as Black Americans, this new immigration deal, y'all, we need to stay on top of this because this is the type of stuff they try to do to us. Is they try to sneak these type of bills in on us that come back to bite us. So let's stay on top of this. I don't think this is going to pass, everybody, but let's stay on top of this. This is important to our people. Now, about these two coons, Warnock and Walker, I just toss a coin up because you can just see which coon you want, I guess. Whichever one you prefer. You're getting the Reverend Coon, and then you're getting the Werewolf Coon, whichever one you prefer. It looks like Reverend Coon is going to win based off the numbers that I'm seeing right now, y'all. Hold on, let's see. But you know what? Newstoter gonna give us an update on that. So, so
Oh no. Go ahead, Professor. If you got the update, go ahead and give it to the people. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, let me just tell y'all what we got right now. Okay. Hold on 1 second.
And it's not the thumbs up's not against you, brother. I'm not feeling on Warnock or either or, but it was nothing against you directly, brother. I just want to let you know that.
Oh, you talking about me?
Yeah. I was thumbs upping towards to what you were saying, not towards you.
Oh yeah, I'm good. Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure that this is actually updated. That's what I'm doing right now.
I know I went to CNN. I could check CNN real quick because I had it pulled up. I'm still seeing. I don't know if it's updated, but real quick, let me check it real quick. It looks like it's 51 to 48% right now. I'm saying so. Walker has actually made up some ground. Warnock has 953,484 votes. Now this is from CNN. I don't know how how CNN is sometimes behind, and Walker has 885,224 votes. So 51% of the vote right now. Warnock holds 48%. Walker 53%. They estimated the actual voters in at this point right now. So. He's kind of making up a little bit of ground now.
All right, so based off New York Times, because they just updated it, that's what I was waiting on. New York Times has Warnock at 51.8%, Herschel Walker at 48.2%. And then that puts the total of votes. Let's see, Warnock is at 959,949. Herschel Walker is 893,618. So let's be honest, y'all. I think Warnock is about to take this based off what we're seeing right now. It is still close, but I think Warnock is going to take it.
Yeah, it's trending that way. It looks like he's going to take it. But like I said, he has made up some ground. So a little bit more than half of the actual votes are in. So we'll see. But it looks like at this point that he's going to take it. But it's still pretty early, and I would lean towards Warnock taking it. Just my personal opinion, but I wouldn't be totally shocked. This thing may be another nail biter again tonight as well too. But I think Warnock is going to probably pull it out tonight. But either way, I'm sure the people of Georgia lose no matter whichever one wins. So it don't really matter. But go ahead and
exactly. It's a coon for either side. There you go.
Yeah, let me go ahead and give it to we're gonna go Mr. Engaging, Volvo, Black Native, and my man Original just raised his hand. What's going on, Mr. Engaging?
What's up, family? What's up? Warnock and Walker. I live in Connecticut, so I am paying attention. I don't even know who to draw from. It's like drawing straws. Like, does it really matter who we get? Like, it sounds really messed up to say like that, because the only one that looks a little bit better is Walker, because he's against that whole immigration ordeal, and I'm cool with that. I think that'll be a good look for Atlanta. Warnock's talking about killing babies and stuff, and he's a pastor, so like, whatever. Now we're gonna go to the Twitter Spaces. We're gonna go to the Twitter Spaces. Are they toxic? They're only toxic unless you go into the toxic spaces. So like, that's how I look at that. And if you're going into spaces that are productive and talking about productive things, then you're gonna be more productive. Like, if you hang around toxic spaces with titles that are disrespectful people, and all that other crazy stuff, then you're there for some other stuff. So that's how I see about that. I think some of those spaces are like programmed to like disrupt much meaningful conversation. I think that is evident, and I think that brothers and sisters shouldn't just pay attention to them. That's just my take on that. The new immigration deal. I'm against immigration all day. I think that brothers and sisters should be more invested in understanding the immigration process in order to disrupt it all the way around, or to make it to our favor, or to make policies to like stifle it. They calling the cops. That's great. I don't think it's no harm, no foul. Like disrupt that stuff, man. Like take that JetBlue home or whatever. So like I'm all for calling ICE. So that's just my take on immigration. I don't think they should get no new deal. The only new deal they should get is them going back across the border. So that's about it.
All right, Mr. Engagement, as always, appreciate having you, brother. Can't say I disagree with much of what you said too. Like, yeah, going into some of these spaces, you can see the title and stuff. If you go in there and you see some of these things titled the way they are, you know it's going to be some drama. So you can't really be surprised when you hear any and everything that goes. So I definitely agree with you on that. Warnock issue, Warnock and Walker, I can't really disagree. Considering that Walker is, and they call him CTE Walker, and pretty much has no political background and whatnot. The fact that he was able to, which a lot of people thought, defeat Raphael Warnock in that actual debate, kind of says a lot about not only him, but says a lot about Warnock as well too. So, like I say, I don't live in Georgia, of course, but like everybody else, I'm looking at it, keeping my eyes on it. So, that pretty much immigration, yeah, I can't really get down with that. So, we know how that infects that how that impacts black men, especially we did a space on that before, talking about how immigration more than any other group, it hurts black men, the unskilled labor market of black men more than any other uh, group in this country. So yeah, I definitely, you know what I'm saying, we definitely can. I can't support that. That's just me personally. I know a lot of people feel differently, but hey, it is what it is. Let me go ahead and kick it to Volvo, Black Native, and then Original. Ray, what's up? I see you up in the spot. What's going on, Ray?
What's going on, everybody? Running a little late today, man. Had a long day at work.
No, no problem, man. We glad to have you up in the space as always. You got it, Volvo.
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm on a new headset. Um, the Warnock and the Walker thing, I'm gonna stay away from that because I'm not really qualified to speak on that, and I don't want to, sound silly. I'm not that invested in it, and I haven't been keeping up with it. As far as the Twitter space thing is concerned, a lot of these spaces is toxic. I want to say I appreciate you for keeping it clean and keeping it intellectual. You always keep a good space. You know what I mean? Other spaces that I like going in black majority. What is it? Black majority state spaces. He keep his spaces clean too. You know what I mean? So I want to say that I appreciate y'all for that. Because, when I come on here for intellectual talk. You know what I mean? I come on here to learn, and I also come on here to teach. You know what I mean? And you go in some of these spaces, and this, man, it's just real messy. They'll have a great title, but the host is like shitty. He has a great title, so he can just center himself in the conversation and keep muting the mic. You know what I mean? The host is supposed to basically be like a referee. You know what I mean? Like when I hold a space, I don't do it that often, but when I do, you know what I mean? Of course I'm gonna interject and I'm gonna say my points and I might back and forth, but basically I'm a referee. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. Some of these people on here, man, they on here too much. I know that because I'm on here a lot. I'm a truck driver, so I be needing something to do, like when I turn the music off, or I might listen to an audio book. I'm glad I found this. You know what I mean? So I'm on here a lot, and I see some of these people on here all day, just saying the same shit. So I get into a lot of bullshit because they be in echo chambers, And when I come in there with an opposing view, you know what I mean? Because I'm reading the title, you know what I mean? It's the whole room would just dive on. You know what I mean? For no reason. I'm not being disrespectful or nothing. It's just they sitting on here all day, literally all day. I'm not sure what type of job they got or what they doing, but they'll sit here all day. And a lot of these people are just trolls. Most of them are just trolls. and some of them are really just like unintelligent, like for real, like literally they really don't got nothing smart to say. You can't learn nothing from them. They done been on here forever, and they ain't never gave you no gem at all. They ain't never had they ain't never had a good speech. You know what I mean? They don't know what's going on. They just fell into this shit, and now they addicted to it. You know what I mean? If you listen to a lot of these people speak, they don't know what the hell they talking about. And let me say this too, right? They have turned that FBA hashtag into something goofy. Now it's just it's just you go in the rooms and a lot of the guys that's always in those FBA rooms, what they do? Oh, you Africans stink. You Africans ain't this. You Africans that. You Africans this. That's all. That's as far as their conversation go. Go back to your country. Why you not building your country? That's it. That's literally it. Some of the people that's respected in the FBA hashtag movement or however you want to call it, they really muddied that up, man. They really made that fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Because they dumb. That's all that. That's as far as their conversation go. They don't got nothing to say about world events or what's going on in the news or none of that. I'm sorry, I'm being long-winded, but they really fucked that hashtag up. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm known for blocking people. You know what I mean? Because I got more people blocked than I'm following. Because after I lose respect for your conversation, I just don't want to deal with that. That shit be goofy. So I'm known for blocking people. If I got you blocked, I lost respect for your conversation. You know what I mean? I can be wrong. I'm wrong all the time. You know what I mean? And I don't mind being wrong because I'm here to teach, and I'm also here to learn. So if you teach me something I was wrong about it, that means I learned something new. You know what I mean? So a lot of these Twitter spaces is toxic. I'm gonna close with this about the immigration. I'm totally against all immigration, not just immigration to the United States, but immigration anywhere. Because I understand one thing about immigration: the foreigner will always steal from the native. I'm gonna say it again. I've been teaching this on my channel. The foreigner will always steal from the native. Always, throughout human history, the foreigner have always stolen from the native. When foreigners come to your land, you are going to take an L. That has always been true throughout human history. You can't tell me anywhere where the foreigner did not steal from the native. I appreciate you, bro.
No problem, Volvo. The one thing I would say is that, like, and Black Pressure said it in the comment, like FBA, it's not a movement, though it is a lineage. Like all of us as descendants of American slavery, we all, you know what I'm saying? It's our bloodline or whatever. So it's not really a movement per se. So it is just basically your blood, your lineage, your roots to the actual country. But I get what you're trying to say, though.
Yeah, can I just real fast? Yeah. I'm FBA by definition. Yes, I'm FBA, and I believe in everything that we trying to do. I think I phrased it wrong. I apologize if I phrased it wrong. I know it's not a movement. It is a lineage. It's my lineage. You know what I mean? Like I got an FBA flag hanging on my house. I wish he would make them thicker because they keep tearing up. I got to keep buying one every four or 5 months. But I've been flying that flag for about 2 years now. No, maybe like a year. No, about 2 years now. I had it on my house. So I'm taking this shit serious. I'm talking about as far as Twitter, the FBA. You know, the people that's known to be in the FBA spaces. They just turned they turned it into a troll hashtag. That's what I meant to say. I appreciate you, bro.
All right, bro.
But you call people stupid. See, they gonna get on you about that one.
I mean, but I don't call nobody stupid that ain't stupid though. If you just being stupid, you know what I mean? You could be wrong and not be stupid. But if you just being stupid, I mean, I don't know, I call a spade a spade.
All right, Volvo. Let me go ahead and get to Black Native. We're gonna get Black Native Original, and we're gonna get Professor. Professor, I know you had your hand up too, so I'm gonna get to you as well after Original. Go ahead, Black Native.
Thank you for allowing me to speak again. I think it's kind of sad where Black people really don't have options. Like the professor said, it's two clones, take your pick. And that's the options that we're always given when it comes down to voting. We're either voting for the lesser of the two evils and now the lesser of the two clones. And it's sad that we never really get what we want in the political arena. We always have to downgrade or just pick anybody that we think is not going to be as bad as the next person, but both of them are just fucked up. And that's the options that we always seem to get. I mean, Obama, we had hopes and dreams in him, but you see how that turned out. And so, it's just been like that for us ever since we started voting. We never actually got somebody that we knew would be in there for us through the thick and thin, and stood on a lot of topics and issues that we want to see happen in this country. It never seems to turn out like that. Now, as far as immigration, I'm against it. Like Vomo Rent said, when you get the foreigners come in here, the natives lose out. I'm literally in North Carolina, and I keep stressing this. They're here. I mean, you can go to a gas station in Raleigh, North Carolina, and you got taco vans and trucks set up at every gas station. How did that happen? They're out here, not where I live at, doing cyber optics. They're pulling up, and it's nothing but Mexicans. Ain't no blacks, ain't no whites. It's strictly Mexicans doing cyber optics. So this is what has happened, and it is affecting basically black men who are labor workers. That's who is affecting the most. So yeah, y'all better step up y'all game and be like, nah, you taking our jobs. So no, I don't agree with immigration. What the new immigration deal needs to be, they get your ass packing and get back on the boat or the plane or wherever you come from and try to fix your country up. I know it sounds repetitive, but that's what needs to happen because it's affecting us. Okay, it's affecting our communities now. And as far as Twitter Spaces, yeah, I'll come in there based off a title. And I'm like, okay, this is a good title. And next thing you know, it's a troll space. It's a troll space. And all you hear is black people going at it. And we like drama. Most of us like drama. And sometimes it's okay for the shits and giggles. But that's not what this should be about. If you're going to have a space like that, label it. This is a troll space. You know what I'm saying? So I know not to go in there. Don't talk about, you got the title, Martin Luther King. Was he a great man? And then I come in there and y'all not talking about Martin Luther King. Y'all calling each other out your name. And see, that's a problem. And that's what these spaces have become. People have become too familiar with people that they really don't know. We speak on in these spaces, but that's about it. It's only a couple of people that I could count on one hand that I literally call on the phone and I have true conversations with daily that I met off of this app. And that's few and far between, very few. So it is a problem. Hopefully, we're going to have these troll spaces. It is what it is. I call them troll spaces. I call them setup spaces. If you got a good title, coming in, you think you're going to hear something intellectual, and all you hear is, fuck you, bitch ass nigga. This is what I'm hearing in the spaces. So, and it's an issue. And what's going to happen is this. It's going to leave from off of Twitter, and it's going to go into the streets. I see it happening. I see people threatening other people, threatening other people's children. People throwing out their addresses. It's not that serious. And I came up here because I thought we were going to be speaking about reparations, police brutality, uh, people being protected as a protective class, issues that are affecting our community. And the only place I get that from is your space. And I know you're tired of hearing it, Newstoter, but it's actually true. Don't no shit go off in this room. And I appreciate that. You stick to the point. You pull up articles, you read those articles, and you let us speak our opinions on the articles that you bring to the table. And I respect that. And maybe I'm trying to think of who else has a really decent room. Black State Majority, DJ, but it's few. It's few. And So, sometimes I might go sit in there, and then, after a while it gets boring. I'm like, it's tiresome. So I just want to land on that. I hope I touched on all the points. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to listen in. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Absolutely, sister. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you supporting the platform and the spaces all the time too, as well too. So always glad to get your insight on things going on, sister. So once again, thank you for speaking in the space. Let's go ahead and kick it around to we're gonna go to original professor. We're gonna go to Reed. We're gonna go to Volvo, DJ, of course, the co-host. So let's go ahead, original, and go ahead and unmute your mic, bro.
All right, here we go. These Black Power reparations.
Yeah, you scratching right now.
Let me go down. Let me go out and come back up then.
Okay. Yeah, we heard a little bit of scratching. I don't know, when it started the space, I was talking to Professor them and Leon for a second, and all of a sudden the screen went black. I had to reconnect. So, I don't know what some of these issues going on in these spaces and stuff. So hopefully everything will be everything. We'll wait till Original comes back. Original, are you back? I don't know if Original came back or not. Let me go ahead and
I'm here.
That's your Original? Who said that?
Me. Winner. I'm here.
Oh Lord.
That's our favorite troll. That's a favorite
Oh my God.
Get over it.
I'm sorry, Jenna. I'm sorry.
Oh my
She's out
Lord.
for everybody. She's our favorite winner.
Okay.
I'm stressed out.
Winner. A winner. Hey, winner.
It's too close.
Winner, go ahead and raise your hand, winner, and we'll go ahead and we'll get back to you as well too. So I was trying to see if Original was back. He's disconnecting. We'll get back to Original. I'm gonna go ahead and circle it, and we'll go ahead and go to Professor. Professor, go ahead, and then we'll go back. We'll go ahead and we'll get back to Original. Let me give a shout out to Volvo and Trayvon also for your contribution on Cash App. Let's go ahead. Professor, go ahead, and then we'll get back to Original whenever he gets back up.
Yeah, I just want to add to the whole toxic Twitter spaces, y'all. It is a lot of them up in here, but with that being said, as I stated before, I have made connections with some wonderful people up in here. I named a few of them all, and I'm gonna name some other ones because I just had to give a shout out to them. Sister Rilla, she just stepped up in here late again as usual, and then we got my brother Original Blood down there, Black Pressure. Sister Dana, she holds great spaces too, y'all. Check Sister Dana out. She holds wonderful spaces with Judge Brown. I see there go that Trouble down there. I see her, another one that I always like to talk to. I'm looking for Sister No Taxation. I'm sure she'll be up in here later. But and I see Brother Dion down there. Shout out to that brother there too. Goddess Michelle. It's a lot of wonderful people that I have met. The ones that you just heard me name. Oh, Sister Tony, there she is. I was looking for her. And Sister I Am Rewa. So the people that I just named to you are the ones that I have seen up in a lot of the spaces that I call my Black American extended family. So as long as you're on here, people, you're gonna run across some like-minded people that's all about this cause, and you're gonna jail them. And even with that Negro Bobo up there, the one that just called FBA stupid, yeah, they're gonna jump him. They gonna jump that brother, man. Hey, look, security trial gonna be all on your head.
Technically, he didn't. Technically, he ain't say that FBA was stupid.
Warnock room. Like, are we looking at what's going on?
Okay, yeah, real quick. We've been covering 3 topics tonight, and we've been talking about because Warnock Walker. We've been covering pretty much all of them. So we're talking about all of them. We're talking about immigration, and we're talking about the Twitter spaces as well. But do me a favor, when somebody's speaking, please don't come off your mic. Let them go ahead and finish. But just so we don't get anything going, like Volvo actually was just saying that he didn't actually say FBA was stupid. So let's just.
I know. I'm just messing with you, Bobo. Brother Bobo, I like listening to him too, man, because he come in and state what's on his mind. He don't necessarily go with the popular the popular thing that everybody else is saying. I like that. That is good. Because that's how I do it sometimes too. I don't always say go with the popular thing. And I think that's how we're supposed to be. When y'all hear me saying this to him about the FBA gonna jump in and security tribe and all that, I'm fucking with him. But anyway, and Sister Winter, by the way, y'all, she's not really a troll. But I like listening to her too, even though she do get, I don't know, she be taking something. But anyway, I like your sister.
I just vibe on my own vibe, brother. That's all.
I got you, sister. But anyway, y'all, I'm gonna land my plane right there.
All right. Oops, I didn't mean to hit the mute, but let me go ahead and get Original back up here because I know he was having some issues. But Original, go ahead. I know you're gonna go ahead and drop plenty of knowledge for us. So go ahead, brother. We're gonna go Original, Professor. Professor, I'm sorry, you already went. So we're gonna go Original, Volvo. We'll go Winner, then we'll go DJ.
All right, can you hear me now?
Loud and clear. What's going on tonight, Original?
DJ had me up early this morning. That's why I wasn't working. He had me up. I couldn't get to sleep, and he's still online, but we had a good time. But here's the thing. Now, you mentioned Warnock and Walker. Now, I was still getting text messages today, and I was letting these people know that I'm not voting. I said, neither of these candidates have promised black folks anything. Now, we all saw that video when the illegal alien asked Raphael about immigration. He was direct and to the point, but then when the brother asked him about reparations, he was all over the place, talking about expanding Medicaid and this, that, and whatever. And then when he got finished, he said, and that's a solution. And there was no way that I could vote for that. And I would say possibly, well, only thing about Herschel is like someone said, he's against immigration, which is good. And Warnock want to open the borders. And so, so I'm like, okay, but what are you going to do for my demographic? And that's what I kept asking this person today. There was a Warnock support, a couple of them were Warnock supporters, and I kept asking, what are you going to do for my demographic? And they don't have anything to say. And see, Warnock has been running. He has been trying to attach himself to Dr. King, stating that he's a senior preacher at the church where Dr. King grew up and preached and all, and about the responsibility. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Dr. King loved us. Before Dr. King was murdered, Dr. King said, we coming to get our check. I don't see him doing that. And so my point is that I can't sit up here and give and support you, but yet you don't have an issue. It's like one of the people who sent me a text message, they told me I should check out his platform. I said, I checked out his platform. He has stated what he's going to do for the gay, I might well say the gay white folks. He has stated what he would do for the illegal aliens, but nothing for U.S. descendants of chattel slaves. And I told him, I said, well, that make me feel like he vehemently hate us and don't want anything to do with us. He only wants our vote, and that's it. So, but like I told him, I said, well, whatever happens, happen. I said, I'm not wasting my time. See, I live within walking distance of my polling place. I can walk over there and vote. But I said, I'm not going to waste any time walking over there. Well, today I would have drove because it was raining. But I'm not going to waste any time going over there because there's nothing in it for me on either way. And Herschel, dumb. I've just never seen anyone who could be so dumb, and then people sitting up there trying to make him credible. It's literally insane. So, so it will be what it's going to be, and I'm not gonna put any energy into it because that's what they want us to do, to get us riled up and get us concerned. My TV is not even on on any of the news channels right now. That's just how much I'm not concerned with it. I just have to let it go. And my other issue is this should send Democrats a message that, either you do right by black folks, or we're just not gonna vote. We're gonna be okay regardless. We're gonna be okay. But both parties want the power. And like I said, whoever gives the reparations, they got the black vote for the next 60 years or so. And as far as the Twitter spaces, I had listened to some Twitter spaces, but I really don't go into them that much because, like everyone has been saying, they're toxic, and the people sometimes I don't know, when they put this out there, I guess it gave, some of it may be controlled opposition, some of this may not be, it may just be people trying to make us look bad. So I think that has to be factored in as well. So, because let's not forget about COINTELPRO. So I think this may be a little it could be some COINTELPRO that's going on these Twitter spaces where they're trying to do all this silly stuff and make black people look bad. But I tell them that's not me. So it doesn't make me look bad. That's them. And as far as the immigration, no, I am not a supporter of immigration, because all that's going to do is hurt us. Because these people that are coming here, as I said today on one of my text messages, these people are getting all kind of benefits. In New York, they're getting free housing. They have phone banks where they can call back to their country of origins, and they're getting some stipends. But yet you have black people, some of them veterans and others, they're out on the street without anything. So why would I support that? So I'll land with that. But as far as this election, it's going to be what it's going to be, and that's it.
Appreciate that, Original. Thank you as always, brother. And I know, Original, you down there in Atlanta, you down there in Georgia, right?
Right. I'm in the city of Atlanta. I live in the city of Atlanta.
Yeah. Like I say, my niece, she actually goes to Raphael Warnock Church. He's an actual preacher. And I know a week or so ago, my sister she was talking about how Raphael, how he was like, maybe it was a couple of days ago, about because she was listening to the actual I guess his actual sermon, I don't know, on the phone or somehow. She was sitting up here talking about how he was tearing it down, how he was going in, how he was delivering the message. I'm like, girl, if you don't go ahead and sit on down, what Raphael Warnock doing? Like, you go ahead and sit down.
But Newstoter, here's the issue with that. See, before he ran for Senate, he always positioned himself as being this, civil rights activist, community person, or whatever. But then it's like, once he decided to run for Senate, it's as if all of that disappeared. And and we all saw the video as to how he treated Marcel. He told the white folks glowingly what he would do for them. So Marcel said, "Well, what about black folks?" All of a sudden, he didn't want to say anything. So that's a serious issue for me, and I can't, I can't really get past that. I'm not going to sit up there and give you a vote, and you're not going to represent us. That's just not possible.
Definitely. Once again, appreciate your Original. Let's go ahead and get Ree on the unmute your mic. Ree, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, Newstoter.
Hey, what's up now?
I wasn't gonna say nothing, but I heard Professor. I heard him, and I went back and listened to that space last night when I left, and I heard y'all.
Hey, it was Black Pressure. Black Pressure.
He a hater.
Yeah, Black Pressure was the one that started all the noise up in this space.
He a hater. He just be trying to be all hardcore and stuff. He sound like a big old teddy bear.
And Black Pressure was thinking the same thing I was too. So he can go ahead and knock it off. But go ahead, sister.
I'm just gonna say, listen. So on my primary page, you guys know I do the same thing. I'm always heavily, in the political, space and, talking about how to advance forward. I don't go into those other spaces, and even if it's like late night, I try to find you all. I think that you're not going to stop people from indulging in, whatever strokes their boat or, makes them find a way to, be, provocative. But I will say that in the space where we have to show up and we have to elevate no matter what's going on in our lives, it's in productive spaces. It's in spaces where you can have communication, wrong or right, and you still have grace to, I always say do no harm, and making sure we peel back the onion layers and, start to create a good meal. And I think that comes with having discussions with people from, different walks of life, that is in this space where American freedmen can try to do exactly what we are always talking about, and that is develop a collective force. I don't really have to name any names because y'all already know what the real deal is. If I'm at on Saturday nights. If I'm not there, I'm off of Twitter doing my real life. And I would assume that most people are doing real life outside of Twitter. I think Warnock and Walker are two sides of the same coin in the sense of neither one really wants to address us in public like they do everyone else, because we are not their interest until it comes to voting. The same thing that Stacey Abrams did, that was her mistake. And I think we need to start handing out consequences. And the consequences are the people in the prospective states and cities that can vote for these people have to become aware that there is a movement to vocalize and start to demand reparative justice through legislation, and that you can do that directly by understanding how to get involved civically in your city and state, and why just voting blue, no matter who, or Republican, because is not the way to go. It has to be party over policy over party. And Warnock and Walker, I mean, they're not going to change their stripes. Original said it best. We're looking at two, unfortunately, Black men from our community who failed to even show up with their, as their own interest, and not be pulled by puppet strings organizations or the like. That was my message to the judge yesterday. You can't say you're running for office and you're in a room full of Black people, but you don't go in a room full of white folks and talk to them the way you talk to us. You have to be full-chested. When I run for office, I'm going to boldly say who I'm running for, because other groups do it, and no one has a problem with that. No one. So I hope people demand from Walker and Warnock what they want in their agendas, and if it ain't showing up, call them all out. Talk about everything that they're saying, as ignorant as it always seems to be. And for immigration, I am not for immigration at all. I believe that reparative justice has to come with how we protect ourselves from our community, because LA City Council proved to us that immigration and integration didn't help us at all. In fact, it's harming us in a way where we are being out-organized, treated poorly. They are attacking us, economically. And when I say they, I mean immigrants, and they're not always Latino. They're immigrants from around the world that are moving to the United States, and they're being promised a life of, thriving while we suffer. And consequences have to be repaid for those things. So, and remember, Republicans sign on those deals too. So the DACA bill, non-Republicans signed on that DACA bill. So really go and start to get into civic engagement. And y'all know where I'm at. And I land my plane. That's it. That's all I got.
All right, sis, as always, I appreciate you. Volvo's going to be next. Hey, DJ, hold it down for me for 1 second. I got to take a call. DJ up in the spot? DJ, you there? Ray, you up in the spot?
Yeah, man. Go ahead. Who's next?
Okay, Volvo next.
Go ahead, brother Volvo. Got the mic.
Yeah, I just want to touch again on the Twitter spaces being toxic. Like a lot of these spaces that you know, like I'll go in any room if it's a good topic. If it's something that I feel like I can add something to, I'll go in there. Now I used the word stupid earlier, right? Because a lot of these guys is stupid. Some of these guys will have a good topic, right? But then they don't know nothing about the topic. It's just a way for them to center themselves in the conversation. And when you try to exchange with them on the topic, they so dumb that it just turns into a troll space unintentionally. They don't mean for it to be that, but it's just like they're trolling you because they can't articulate the topic the correct way. So they end up babbling. Like they end up just babbling about it, and then it turns into a yelling match and all that. I mean, like, you know, and it becomes just like a troll space for no reason. Like they heart might be in the right place, but they can't articulate the topic, you know, the right way. So I've been in some space where these people have said all types of shit. I'm molest my daughter. I molest my son. I don't even have a son, but somehow I'm a child molester now. I support the police killing black people. All types of shit, threats. I've been threatened in every way possible. Just ridiculous. I'm talking about real WWF type of threats. Hulk Hogan, when I see you, brother, at WrestleMania 61 is going to be me and you. If you smell what the Rock is cooking type of threats, like really just crazy shit. Like for no reason though. For no reason. It's just, you know, it's just like I just look at it as, you know, that's just how some people is. That's just as far as their conversation go. You know, so that's why again, I block people. If I block you, that way I can remember you, and I got my guard up when I see you in the room. You know what I mean? That's just a mechanism I use to stay away from that stuff. As far as the immigration thing, I want to touch on that, right? As a black American, you know, my family been here for hundreds of years. You know what I'm saying? We've been here, white people, some white people, been here for hundreds of years as well. They don't suffer at the hands of immigration. The reason why white people are against immigration because they understand in the long run, they understand the long game. They understand 100 years from now, 50 years from now, America is going to be even more darker than what it is now, and their power is starting to slip. But right now, 2022, white people are not harmed by immigration. Like I said earlier, I'm a truck driver, right? So I'm in these little small towns that most people will never go.
Volvo, you still there?
Oh shit, man! I think did Security Tribe get him? Shit, you know.
Hey, Seth, I'm gonna let me let this DC Scotty go first, and then I get to you. Go ahead, DC Scotty.
Okay,
Come on, brother.
All right.
DC Scotty, you there?
Oh shit! I think we lost DC Scotty too, then.
Give me a second to try to bring you Volvo. Go ahead, Volvo. We lost you, brother. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm back. I see Volvo. What y'all lost him or something?
Yeah, we lost.
Yeah, LBA got him, dude. LBA Security Tribe got his ass.
Professor, go ahead. We'll get to you, and then we'll get to Beatrice.
What I was gonna say, y'all,
with the Warnock and Walker deal, I just want to say with these two brothers, man, I don't know what to say for the people of Georgia. I got family that live over there. I see Warnock, he's still in the league because I've been checking it. I don't know what to tell the people in Georgia. I know my cousin, she was like, I'm not interested in it. You know, she voted in the first election, of course. But she don't have no interest in it anymore. She said, because either way, we going to be in trouble with either one of these guys. But what really throws me off about this whole thing with Herschel Walker, y'all, is the werewolves and the vampires. I'm just trying. I'm trying to. I'm still trying to figure this shit out, man. Like this dude, man. Look, I want to know. Did the Republicans really think about this before they put him out there? Cause that dude seems like to me he don't need to be running for a senator. He need to be running towards a mental institution. So that's what we need to be sending him to right now.
Checking for that CTE.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait a minute now, because you know they got he perfect for the job.
Really?
Perfect how?
No, do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh,
yeah. Now I know what you're talking about. Sister, really, you got it.
I couldn't agree more. That man is saying the most off the wall, outlandish shit. You know, I told everybody I'm from Georgia. I'm from Alabama. You know, pretty much born and raised, man. Just some of the shit that be come out of his mouth. It's just random. You know, back when I was a kid growing up, I think he grew up in Lawrenceville. I think that's where he grew up. You know, back when I was a kid, back in Lawrenceville, a wheel fell off my canoe, which made me wonder how many pancakes can fit inside a doghouse. Well, none, because ice cream doesn't have bones. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? He just ran.
Yeah, that's him. And that's the thing, man. You know something has happened with this brother where CTE is affecting him. So on a serious note, I would like to see the brother go in and get tested and see if he's, they can do something to fix the problem or do something to treat the problem or something to help him. But I don't think he needs to be near a senator position or any type of political position where you have to make decisions about people's lives. We don't need him in that kind of office.
That man ain't gonna be making no damn decisions. He gonna go and do whatever the damn Republicans tell him. He is just a face in the seat. He ain't making no damn. He's not calling no shots, man.
That's true. But look. With that being said, the other guy is not going to be making a decision either. He's a coon, and he's going to do whatever them damn folks up there in that Democratic Party tell him to do. And that is
true.
He's not going to stop the Black Americans.
You're 100% right, because like Herschel Walker said, this man voted for Joe Biden. Was it 94%? 97, 94% percentage was during that debate. But so you got a hell of a point, yo. It's how we got to this point. Like, seriously, how we got to the point where we got to choose between a reverend that is really only known for, preaching in the same church as Martin Luther King and a damn coon.
Wait a minute now. You got that wrong, Ray. Hold on now. Let's don't bang out the word out like that.
Ray, and don't forget he ran his wife over now.
Exactly. I was about to say.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly, y'all. We don't want the space to get shut down, okay?
Nah, that's no allegedly. The wife had called the cops on him and had there's a video out robbing that. That's not allegedly. That's for real.
Well, hey, that is.
Y'all know I'm a University of Georgia fan, so it really hurts me, and that's one of my legends. As much as he's cooling it up, it's really hard for me. It's like I kind of want to beat him only because of what he does for football, but politically, this is going to be a fucking disaster, man. It's going to be a long, 6 years? That's how long since it's been? I believe 6 years. It's going to be a long damn 6 years. Hey, entertaining with him and Trump trying to get back in office.
Man, look, Ray.
MAGA, let's go.
Let's be honest, Ray. When it comes to Herschel, man, he'll forever be one of the best running backs of all time in college football history. But that joker, all he did, like what most of them sadly do when they go to these universities, like the SEC schools, They get in there and they run down on white women, which is what he's been doing. And that, of course, I hate to say it, that tells you right there what kind of guy he is right there. You know, he's been basically cooning all this time since he's been at the University of Georgia. All he ever wanted was a white girl. That's all he ever did. Why would, you know?
Real quick, y'all, I see Sister Taxation, No Taxation has her hand up. So we're going to go ahead and get to her. But if you guys could, go ahead in the Jumbotron, go ahead and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter as well. Help us grow on both the actual newsletter and the actual YouTube channel. No Taxation, go ahead and unmute your mic, sister.
Hey, News, after that sister goes, what did Herschel Walker say about his son? You posted about it, but I forgot what he said.
Oh, he was just calling them names and stuff like that. Basically, just calling them, just picking at them and calling them names and calling them. Yeah, tell me he was dumb as a brick, and now he actually called his son dumb as a brick. So, like, yeah.
And Sister No Taxation.
You know, I love y'all. I love when y'all come in here and talk about politics. I love to hear what you all say. Hello to everybody. And hello to Newstoter, DJ, and everybody.
What's going on, sister?
I feel like I'm finally caught up with work, so I feel good about that. Here's the thing about Herschel Walker. If they can put the GOP, can put Tommy Tuberville up, why can't they put Herschel Walker up? See, the dumb one is already in. The other part about it is, look who they just put in as president before Biden. Somebody with no political experience, who really is a laughing stock in the state of New York. If you came to New York or Jersey, you would find out he only has his name, Trump I'm talking about, on two things. One is Jersey, that golf course out there, and Trump Tower. Everybody has taken his name down. And that's how he made his money, by selling his name. So if they can do that, why not put Herschel up? Just because he's black and acts like them, I say go for it. See, here's what you all are dealing with now. After George Bush, too, the status quo left when they put Obama in, right? See, he was the change when he said, yes, we can, and yes, we can do any kind of thing we want to up here, including wearing a brown suit. You see, wearing a brown suit was next to a crime, and that's because Washington, D.C., Capitol Hill was run a certain sort of kind of way. But that's not true anymore. Now it's a free-for-all. And that's why we got to get as good, smart black people in as we can, Democrat or Republican. And I'm not saying Herschel Walker is smart. I will say this. Herschel Walker made more money out of football than he did in. He's a businessman, so he got to know something, even if it's just to pick the right white boy to help him. Yes, he's going to do the bidding of the GOP, but that's what all politicians do, is do the bidding of the party. So that's nothing new. He's not going to fight for black folks, but who do we have fighting for black folks anyway on either side of the aisle? We ain't got nobody. We have nobody. What we have in this country now politically that's pushing the envelope, that is making demands, is the black grassroots. Not even those boys that went up there and tore up that Capitol and put feces all over the walls did anything. They didn't move the needle. All they did was get put out. If you want to know the truth about it, I'm not talking about put out of the Capitol. They got put out of the party. You all will see it in 2024. They're going to put Trump and Trump-esque and Trumpers and Trumpsters in a corner so that they can't move. And they're going to do it by taking away their money first. So, when it comes to being a senator, it's a job for life. I doubt all too seriously if they will, keep Herschel up there long, because he does have CTEs, and we can't laugh at that. I was really disappointed when Obama came out and made fun of him and about the vampires and the vultures. And I don't know which one he said he would be, and I don't know why he said that, but that's what happens when you have brain injuries. You talk like that, and we got to expect that. I don't think he was ever the brightest bulb in the beginning. before he started playing football, and certainly, and especially during the times when he played, everybody knows that field was very dangerous. It'll take you out. It could take you out completely. It'll take you out of your life. And that's why they put these new rules and regulations and new helmets and all that kind of stuff in, because they come out talking like Herschel Walker. So let's give Herschel a break. If we ain't talking about Tommy Tuberville with his dumb ass, excuse me, y'all know I try not to cuss, then let's not talk about Herschel either. Now, as far as Warnock is concerned, he's a party man. That's just what it is. I don't think Herschel Walker is a party man, but I think he's a do boy. He'll do what he's told. I don't think he has. I don't think he has the political savvy to understand how to be a party man. So that doesn't make him dangerous. Warnock is far more dangerous to us than Herschel Walker could ever be. Please know that, and I'm gonna leave it there.
I don't know about that, sister. I have to go ahead and say I'm not really sure about that. Both of these guys are dangerous in different ways. I don't know which one is more dangerous. Herschel Walker is a complete yes man, just like the other one is too. But I know you mentioned Tommy Tuberville, and I'll say this part right here. White folks have so many candidates and people out there in politics that they can afford to put somebody dumb like Tommy Tuberville up here. Well, we're really limited with the number of black people we have that can actually even reach a status as being a senator of a state. I mean, how many black senators do we have in the country right now? We don't even have 10 of them. So it's a little bit, and then that's not to say Warnock is any better, anything like that. But white folks, they can put people up there like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jesse the Body Ventura and Tommy Tuberville and Donald Trump and things like that, and they can get away with it because hell, they're the bulk of the population and they control everything. But with us, we do have to be somewhat careful in this situation here. I don't really know if it's a win-win either way how you look at it, because I don't think either one of them, both of them are going to do exactly what the parties tell them. Warnock has shown that, and Walker most definitely has shown that as well too. So I don't really, I really, my heart goes out to the people in Georgia, because you got two guys that's definitely going to do whatever, and that's politics as it is anyways. People are going to go along with their party affiliation, but Herschel Walker is happy to do it. I will say that much. He's happy to do it. He's happy to let you know that. Herschel Walker is the type of person that also sit up here and tell you that racism doesn't exist and this and that too, until he's actually affected by it. So Herschel's been Tommen for a long time. I mean, it ain't nothing new. I'm not saying that Raphael Warnock is any better, but I mean, Herschel Walker, he is a special case. I'm just put it like that. And like I said, with white folks, they can go ahead and they can find any downtrodden person, throw them up there in politics, because hell, there's a couple 100 million of them in this country anyway. So one way or another, they're going to get their people in there, whether they're an idiot or they're smart or whatever. They got more than enough candidates to go out there and throw out. But like I say, we got how many senators, how many black senators in the United States? If you can Google that, y'all, I know we got Cory Booker.
We got two, one on one side and one on the other side.
Well, we got Booker, we got Tim Scott, we got Warnock.
Here's the reason why I said neither one of them don't mean nothing, except one is more dangerous than the other. Warnock has political savvy. He also already has some political chips that he can cash in. And he knows the game. And what he doesn't know, they'll be willing to teach him. You can't teach Herschel nothing. You see why he's more dangerous? Now you see it? Is he going to vote along party lines? Yes. But that's all he's going to do. He ain't going to put up no bills. I can cold damn guarantee you. Nobody in his office is going to write no bill. I can guarantee you that. If a bill comes and his name is on it, somebody else in another office allowed him to sign on to it with them. Herschel doesn't have the political savvy, nor does he have the intelligence to be on Capitol Hill. Neither does Tommy Tuberville. Okay? The threat is Warnock. The threat for black folks is not Herschel Walker. The threat on the GOP side is the white folks, not Herschel Walker. I can guarantee you that. The threat on the other side is people like Warnock, Congressional Black Caucus, against black folks. I'm talking about. See what I'm saying? And you see the difference politically, not who they are, not what they stand for. What is Herschel stood for, other than the vampires and the vultures? That's all we know about him, and his child, and all. All we know is mess. Okay. But the reason they're doing it is because they need that seat, because they're trying to keep the balance of power on their side and not on this side. Now,
well, real quick, not to interrupt you, sister, but I'll say this part right here. Herschel Walker has time and time again said stuff against reparations. Herschel Walker is definitely somebody that he voices his voice when it's time to say something about anything that's beneficial to black people and black empowerment. Like I say, Raphael Warnock's not even going to talk about it. That's one thing. That's bad enough. But then you got this other one sitting up here talking about that when they bring up stuff like reparations, he talk about that we trying to blame and shame white folks and this and that, and white folks that wasn't even around and this and that. And he just goes on with these crazy tirades and stuff like that. That's why I say that he's
not a threat. He's not a threat. White boys say the same damn thing. Herschel Walker is not a threat. I cold daggone guarantee you, even if he gets in that seat and becomes a United States Senator.
He's a threat. He's a threat because he's a threat just like the other one, because they both of them are threats, because both of them are empty hats. And I get what you're saying, that
one of them is smarter than the other.
I agree.
Okay, so that's where the threat is. If you can't think your way out of a paper bag, then you're not a threat to me. See what I'm saying? But if you're a thinking person and you're a plotting person, plot. Herschel can't plot. Warnock can't. Herschel can't think his way out of a paper bag.
If you too big of an idiot, though, you're a threat to black people. And we had idiots like Herschel Walker on the plantation playing the role of the foreman and everything else, telling everything that went on. And every time you're trying to plan something, the game plan something, here he come. So he's a threat.
He's a threat. He's a threat as far as the GOP is a threat. But Herschel Walker in itself, he can't do nothing. Herschel is not carrying no weight. He has no political savvy, and he will not get no political chips. He's the do boy. A do boy. Do what I tell you to do, boy. That's who he is. Warnock is not that. Warnock is a party man. He's a company man. That's far more dangerous to us than anything. Neither one of them have anything for black folks. One just makes it palatable to either say or not say that, and the other one just says it out loud what he's thinking. So what's the difference? Come on now, what's the difference? Except for the fact that one is more dangerous than the other. Because the fight is gonna be, I'll tell you what our fight is gonna be. Our fight is less with them white folks in the GOP than it is with them black Democrats over there in the DNC, and I'm gonna tell you why. The GOP, them white boys over there, would rather cut us a check and get rid of us and never have to deal with us again, as opposed to them people in the DNC. They want to give us another program. If programs ever work for us, then why ain't they working now? They've been giving out program after program after program, and we still in bad shape. We don't need another program. But if we put some fire underneath all them white boys on Capitol Hill, get them black folks, all them white boys on Capitol Hill, they'll be ready to get rid of us if they can just pay us off. And that's what we want, man. Pay us off, let us go. Give me free.
Real talk, sister. Let me just go ahead and say I saw some results from CNN. It was updated, and at this point they said that Warnock has 50% of the votes, 50.6. Herschel Walker has 49.4. So it has tightened up a little bit. It has gotten a little bit closer, y'all. So at this point, it looks like it's gonna. I think 79% of the votes are actually in. So, like we say, once again, it's going to be another nail biter. It looks like it's going to come down to the wire. Warnock does have a slight lead. He has 1,386,924 votes. Walker has 1,354,085 votes. So it's getting to be a pretty tight race. It's starting to tighten up a little bit as well, too. So let me go ahead and get to our next speakers. We got we got Insane, we got Black Majority State, we got Trouble. So let's go ahead and get to them. Go ahead, Insane, unmute your mic.
Hey, what's up, Toter, Kite, and Ray? How you doing? And shout out to the space.
What's going on, brother?
Not a whole lot. Good space. I've just been sitting back listening and I reached the same conclusion that no taxation reached. I don't see and either one of the individuals we're talking about. It's obvious that Herschel is what he is, but even with Warnock, man, I don't see anything that hints of a '70s era Barbara Jordan or even a Barack Obama. Somebody's just skilled that can say, hey, I did this. I see a situation where you got two people who are good for photo ops, especially on the Democrat side, but will be surrounded by aides. They'll tell him, hey, this is yours, or this is what we are working on. Pick one. Which one do you like? Okay, this is your bill, Raphael. And it'll be presented like that. But I don't really see a skill set or a skilled politician that could really go in there and craft bills. I just don't see it from either individual. So again, it's just a photo op. It's some historical stuff going on there saying I emerged from, Ebenezer Baptist Church and the footprints of Martin Luther King. That's just all garbage and propaganda. It's just a bad statement. I think original and juicy genius must be like the only two sound people in Georgia in terms of this campaign here. Regarding the toxicity that goes on Twitter, yes, a tremendous amount of it, and it gets a little disgusting. Sometimes I just like to listen. I don't want to hear people throw pots and pans at one another and curse each other. I think people forget that there's a wide spectrum in terms of the issues we're trying to address here. We're trying to address historical wrongs, but we're also trying to look forward into the future for those who are coming behind us. And I think a lot of times it becomes about me. It becomes about ego and making a point and, just taking it a little too personal as opposed to really staying focused and realizing that we're doing something, attempting to do something for ancestors and for those who are coming behind us. I think a lot of people, not everyone, but I think a lot of people, perhaps may not be coming from that space or forget about that's what it's actually about, especially those coming behind us, but also for the memory of those who came before us. I think people really forget about that sometimes. And, those are just a few of my insights about, what's going on now, the topics, but again, this whole thing with Herschel and Warnock, again, two individuals, and I don't see individuals again there who are going to really go in there and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. No, they're going to bring them what they want them to work on and say, hey, which one do you like? Okay, wow, that's your bill, and they'll surround them with people who will craft it and they'll put their name. That's what's going on with these particular two individuals. And I have to agree with no taxation. Warnock is probably a little bit more dangerous because he's a party man. He's not an outsider. He's definitely an establishment figure. And so those are a few of my insights, and I'll land my plane there.
Thank you, brother. And if everybody could, please go ahead and make sure y'all tweet out the space. Some of your followers, give them the opportunity to actually hear what's going on tonight. They may not be able to catch it tonight, but go ahead and tweet it out. They be sure to probably some of them catch it tomorrow. So go ahead and please tweet out the space. Try to share this message. We're having a pretty good conversation tonight. Please, if you can, support us on Cash App. That's $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Remember that Newstoter is the largest Black curation platform today in America, the largest Black-owned American news curation platform today in America. We have Black Majority State, Trouble, and Volvo up next. So Black Majority State, please go ahead and unmute your mic, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm enjoying the conversation. Shout out to all the hosts, co-hosts, and everybody came up to speak as well. I'm sick of these Black pastor, preacher, politicians who go completely against whatever religious principles and morals they're supposed to have. In Georgia, they saying we're losing about 19,000 Black babies every year in that state, and Warnock would ramp that up if he could, the same way that Stacey Abrams would have ramped it up if she could. I'm totally done with black Democrat politicians. And I say that as somebody who feels like the only way we can really establish a black majority state is we have to ride on top of the Democrat Party, because that's the way our people vote. It's very unfortunate. If there was a way to divorce our population from that party, I would do it in a heartbeat. I'd almost sacrifice my life to get black Americans away from that party. But interestingly enough, when this announcement came out that Biden is proposing to move South Carolina up and also Georgia up to essentially be the first, South Carolina would be first, Georgia would be the fourth in the presidential primary, a story came out almost within seconds saying that this will set Raphael Warnock up for a presidential run, because Georgia will have this early voting prominence and buzz and essentially set him up for a run for the presidency, whether in 2024 or, after 2028. So in that sense, to back up what Miss No Taxation was saying, he is the person that they are looking to and essentially trying to move the chips around and shuffle the board around to set him up for a presidential run. That, to me, makes him extremely dangerous. I'm very disappointed. I wish black Georgians would have stayed home. You don't got to vote for Walker. Just don't vote for the fucking horrible person that they're putting out in front of us. So I'll end with that.
Black, let me ask you one thing real quick now. But let's say tonight, and even if Warnock wins by the skin of his teeth, the fact of the matter that he's in a struggle with somebody like Herschel Walker, who most everybody in this room considers an idiot, and his own party considers him an idiot, and a lot of his party wish that Trump wouldn't have got up there and boosted his head up to go ahead and actually run, because they felt they had put somebody just halfway decent up there that they would have easily defeated Raphael Warnock. And I know that, and he's definitely more astute than Herschel Walker, and that's not saying much. But if he's struggling with somebody like Herschel Walker to beat Herschel Walker, and he's also the incumbent, how much is he of a real threat to actually, even if the Democrats, because I know the Democrats deep down inside, they see the Obama effect is worn off. They see that that a lot of these white folks that even voted for Obama back in 2008 and 12, they're not really feeling that black presidential candidate thing anymore. So how much of a threat would somebody like Warnock really be, even with them trying to go ahead and shift things around with Georgia and South Carolina? How much of a real threat is he, if by the skin of his teeth, because he had a runoff tonight against Herschel Walker, he's catching hell even tonight against somebody who has actually no political experience? How much is he of a real threat in terms of a national level to actually be a real presidential candidate? Because if you go ahead and you trot him out there to run for president, he is going to get absolutely waxed.
That's an interesting question, and I do respect it. So, for instance, in Georgia, I'm just looking at the registered voters. There are 3.7 million white registered voters. We got to assume in Georgia, a high percentage of them are Republicans. I'd have to see the breakdown between the parties, but we can also estimate that of the 2 million black voters, that they're majority Democrat. So, to your point, Walker, had he gotten the full support of the white vote in that state, he should be decimating Warnock, to be perfectly honest. So I think the issue is that the white voters are not coming out in support of Walker more so than the other way around. Now, on a national ticket, what you would do, in my opinion, you would run him out there. You would essentially look at him as the black vote. He would likely vie for a vice president position the same way Kamala Harris did, but they would still use him as a pawn in that way for the black Democrat voters to sort of pull them along with their party, and likely would have a white male out in front of him. So he might fade, somewhere in the middle of the pack, but again, because black American, the Democrat voters are going to say, we want somebody that represents us
And here's the other thing: the Hispanics are now starting to really demand that they have somebody to represent them as well. I've seen people say, let's put a Hispanic at the front of the ticket in one of these upcoming presidential races. So I think that's the way they would use them. Get the black vote, get the high energy at the start of a presidential race, knowing he's going to fade away, and then use him as either a vice president or some other cabinet member like they did with Buttigieg the last time.
Great point, Black. I appreciate you as always. Thank you. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna get to because Trouble hasn't had a chance to speak tonight. So let me go ahead and get to Trouble, and I'm gonna get to you, Volvo. Professor, I know you had your hand back up. If you still want to speak, I'll get to you as well too. So Trouble, how you doing tonight? Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey everybody, I hope everyone is well, doing all right myself. I kind of disagree with a few people in the group, and I hate to because I love when they grab the mic and speak, but I think Walker is more dangerous than Warnock. Warnock, I do think Warnock actually knows how to write a bill. Warnock has put some bills up before, and if you look at what he's done, bill-wise, it's not that bad actually. With Walker is more of a pawn than Warnock is in my book. And who will be writing the book for Walker is my concern. You don't know which radicalized GOP member is going to be the one that's going to be writing. If he's aligning himself with the Trumps of the party, then he could have, a certain type of that base that's writing the bills for him. So that to me is more dangerous because it's more of an unknown. I think with Warnock, he's only going to do but so much harm because he still is going to need a particular amount of the black vote in order to win anything. I don't see him as a presidential candidate. I don't see him as presidential material. I don't see him making it that far, but I think to a certain degree, this will be Black America's challenge to any of the political candidates that come out, especially in respect to a presidential candidate. They may try to boost Warnock up on the back of the fact that he's at the Church of Martin Luther King, and that's where we come in at, and we have to dispel, whatever it is that they're throwing out on that narrative, because really we got to stop letting people get away with constantly using Martin Luther King as a stepping stone to say whatever and, kind of make us feel like we have to be shut down because, they love that I have a dream speech. So we got to start kicking up the other speeches that they refuse to highlight. I came in the space rather late, so I didn't hear what this immigration deal was about, but I don't need to hear what it's about necessarily because, like Brother Volvo had said, the foreigner will always steal from the native, and I am against all forms of immigration on that end as well. It doesn't do any good for us as Black America, and I hate to say it that way because I hate to feel a particular way, but reality is what it is, and you can't, make reality what you want it to be. And the reality is that they're not serving us any good, never have, never will be. The only way that you can really fully assimilate an American culture is to hate the American Negro and do whatever it is that you can against us. And they have all proven that even our own Black people who are American Negroes, when they want a stepping stone and they want to make it into this white society, they know this. And so to let massa know that they've assimilated and they ready for the big times, they're willing to throw their own people under the bus. So we got our own to battle. We don't need to be battling these immigrants as well. And that's just not the Black immigrants. That's all of them. Every last one. Everyone off. Twitter spaces are toxic, or they can be toxic. But that's where we all have to
recognize which groups or which hosts have good spaces that you can protect your mental health in. So all spaces are not created equal, and we all have the option to hit that leave button at any time it starts to wear on you. I kind of space hop a lot because, like Black Native was saying, I look at the titles of the space and I say, okay, well, let's see what they got going on in here. And then you go inside, and sometimes it start off being one particular way and against, but I'm quick to hit that leave button. Sometimes I sit my phone down and I'm doing other things, and listening, and then I'll say to myself, what the hell am I listening to? What what the hell are they talking about? People in the space arguing, name calling each other, and it becomes so unproductive and so cringy to a certain degree till, lately I've just been realizing I've got to protect my mental health. I don't need all of this junk. It's like a family member that constantly calling me all the time, wearing me down with the problems they have going, and I'm constantly telling you what it is that you should be doing or you could be doing to make your situation better, but you're not willing to listen. But yet I gotta keep hearing every time you call me the same old junk, and it's wearing my spirit down now, and we have to learn how to pull away. And it's the same with these spaces. When they start to feel like they're toxic, hit that leave button. It's okay to leave. It's okay not to be a part of every single thing. It's okay, and that's something I'm learning later in life because I got an opinion about everything. I've always been overly opinionated, but I realized that you don't have to speak on everything. You don't have to have a voice in everything. And you don't have to put yourself in the middle of everything. It's okay to pull back. It's okay not to be a part of these things. So I'm going to land on the fact that I want my people to understand, protect your mental health at all costs.
Absolutely, sister.
To that lady right there with that beware sign. See, it says beware, beware of trouble. There it is.
Absolutely. I can't say
beware of the day we change our minds, because we are changing our minds, and they know we're changing our minds. This is the day that they've always been afraid of. Beware.
Amen.
You better beware, because we're coming for that check.
There you go, sister. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. She brings that fire. Her and Sister No Taxation, baby. They come up in here and they bring it.
All right. Volvo, we're going to go to Volvo, then we're going to go to back to No Taxation. So, Volvo, go ahead and unmute your mic, bro. Might be a delay. Volvo, you there? Give him 1 second. I'm not sure. We may have a delay. I'm not sure. Maybe he even put the phone down. You there, Volvo?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to finish my last point from when I got cut off. I don't know what's going on today with this Twitter space, but I just wanted to speak on that. I'm a truck driver, so I'll be all over the United States. I used to go all over the United States, and I keep my eyes open. You know what I mean? Because I'm a curious person. I like to learn, and I noticed that that America is just a bunch of small towns. That's really what America is. It's not these major cities. Once you get away from the major cities, it's nothing but little small towns and villages and all that. And these places are literally 90-80% white. That's where most of the white people are. And when you go out there, you don't see no foreign flags hanging up. You don't see no bunch of foreigners running around and doing shit and living their life. They don't live around those people. White people got a problem with the immigration because they understand 50 years from now the country will be darker. They just don't want the country to be darker with all these foreigners. But they're not suffering at the hands of these foreigners right now in 2022. We are. They're moving into our neighborhoods. They're getting into government, and then they're undermining us. What was her name? Nori Martinez did. That was outrageous. Her black constituents are under her care. She took an oath
She took an oath to take care of these people, and she's trying to undermine these people. That's like a doctor giving you bad medicine. You know what I mean? That's that level of dishonor for me. You know what I'm saying? So we're suffering at the hands of these immigrants. They're coming to our neighborhood. They're opening up businesses in our neighborhoods. They're taking advantage of the sabotage that America has done to us. So we're the ones having problems with these people. The white folks ain't having no problems with these people. They stay in their place when they're around these folks. They stay in their place when they're around. They're afraid of them. You know what I mean? So we're suffering at the hands of these immigrants. And why I say that I'm totally against all immigration, because I understand that the foreigner will always steal from the native. If you look anywhere in the world, when the foreigner comes, he steals from the native people of the land. You know what I mean? We can see that in Australia when the white folks came over there and took over their land. We can see that in Africa when the white folks and not the Chinese are over there stealing all the resources and all that shit. We can see that in the Middle East when the white folks come over there and bomb them and all that shit. Everybody suffers once the foreigner comes. So we need to build a wall around Black America. We really do. Not a literal wall, but we need the wall need to be a code of conduct. So where we make it like we don't really want you over here. Like I mean, we gotta really be that. We gotta make it that blatant. Like we really don't want you over here. All right, you're in America. You're not about the league. Them people is not about the league. I studied world culture, right? Because I couldn't understand why these people are racist towards us. And I look back at these people culture, right? They doing terrible over there. I'm talking about some unbelievable shit, cutting off hands, cutting off arms, blowing each other up. They got it's bestiality in some of these places. These people eating out the garbage, literally eating out the garbage. You know what I mean? Like literally, like they have really fucked up their whole countries. You know what I mean? If you think about it, they bring in that same mentality over here. You know what I mean? They destroyed their countries because they don't know how to work with the people that they live around. They've been living around their people for thousands of years, and they can't even figure out how to build roads and running water. You know what I mean? In 2022, so they're bringing that same mentality here. That's why that's part of the reason why they want to go against us, because they don't know how to work with the people that they live around. I'm gonna close with this, right? These people, for me, I'm sorry if I sound harsh, but they lack critical thinking. It would make sense to work with us. It would make sense. That's what America is supposed to be. We're supposed to be looking out for each other. But they lack critical thinking. If you look at all the best vacation destinations, they all third world countries. These people are running away from paradise. Literally, they literally live in paradise. Everybody, they got some of the most beautiful beaches, fertile farmland, fertile fishing waters, and they can't figure it out because they lack critical thinking. So we need to keep these people far away from us. There will never be a time again in America where we don't have to bump into a Latino, or we don't have to see an East Indian, or we don't have to see an Asian. These people are here to stay, and they're not going anywhere. So we need to build a wall around Black Americans. We need to have a code of conduct and understand that we got to operate how they're operating. Okay, you cool, you here. I'm going to treat you like a decent human being. I'm going to give you the proper respect that every human being deserves. But we really don't want to see you. We need to turn Black America into an oasis, how we used to be. I appreciate you letting me speak, brother.
All right, brother. Appreciate it as always. No taxation. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
I just wanted to answer back to Trouble. First of all, Trouble, I was actually looking at your thing that says "Beware the day we change our minds," and I was saying to myself, I just love the fact that you have that out there. That's number one, because they need to be careful. They need to watch us. And I also love the fact that you said you disagree, thinking that Walker was more dangerous than Warnock because of bills that Warnock put up. And I'm gonna say this, like in politics, that people always say, time will tell, and everybody's book is gonna be read. So it's gonna be very interesting to see. And I believe Warnock is gonna take it. You said he was ahead at Newstoter, and I believe he was gonna take it anyway. And the reason, let's not put a discount. Black majority brought out some very valid points, and that was okay during the campaign. But now you're talking about runoff. Let's not put a discount on the amount of money that the Republicans put into Herschel Walker. They had to put a lot of money in there, and the way they fundraise, the way the Democrats fundraise, are two different fishes in the sea, and so they had more money to spend on Walker than they did on Warnock, and they're giving him a run for his money, and that's just what that is. And it's going to be interesting to see. You also have to understand Georgia, the state of Georgia. There's an old saying amongst black folks that I was raised with: break Georgia and you break the South. That's the reason they put Walker up there. They don't want Georgia broken. You got Stone Mountain down there. And don't forget, you got that Masters tournament down there. They don't call it Masters for nothing. And that's what you're dealing with in Georgia. And let's not forget, Clinton went to the top of Stone Mountain and had all the black male prisoners behind him. And made a speech, had a microphone up there and everything. Gave a speech with them white boys up in there, and had all them standing back there in those striped uniforms that they wear. And so, let's not sneeze or snooze on what's happening in Georgia. And as far as what you were just saying, the last speaker, I can't remember his Bova. There's 4 states that count in this country. And I tell people that all the time. And that's why you talk about the pockets of middle America and all this and the rest of the major cities and states. California, Texas, New York, and Florida. Those are the cornerstones of America. Okay? And those are the only ones that they pay attention to during the campaigns and put the money in, because that's where the economic machine is coming from. And so you have to look at it as a whole and not in parts. So if you're talking about break Georgia and break the South, well, that directly affects Florida, doesn't it? See? And so you have to consider, you got to look at that. People call it a chess game. I don't, call it a chess game if it is. It got about 4 or 5 tiers to it. But you have to see how white folks are moving in this country. You see what they got going on. It's a clown. It's a circus. It's a 3-ring circus, and that's what you all are dealing with. I'll tell you their biggest fear right now. Their biggest fear is y'all, black grassroots. Because you all are the moral compass. Black folks have always been the moral compass in this country. But you all are really the moral compass. And we have been talking, I was a Republican at the time, I'm independent now. In the 70s, we talked about immigration. We were trying to do something about it, and the Democrats stopped us, especially the black folks. And you all are really, really making strides. And so I want you all to really, I don't care what kind of new whatever. They don't want to touch that immigration stuff because it's very convoluted. It's they got the dreamers up in there who's raising up in arms. Now they got all these other Spanish-speaking people up here in this country, and they up against the wall. Or what do they call up the creek without a paddle on immigration? And if it were me, I would suggest that we tie in with them white boys that don't want immigration either, and be a force. Sometimes you have to work with your worst enemy when it comes to politics to get what you want. It could be your enemy today and your friend tomorrow, as long as you get the policy that you need. So that's the other thing. And I don't even know what the new immigration deal is, but whatever it is, I bet you ain't that new. I would think they're gonna tear that immigration policy up and rewrite it. But we've been talking about this since the 70s. So that's how long we've been dealing with it. And our Twitter space is toxic. Some of them can be, but this one is not. So I guess it's your choice, like Trouble said. It's your choice. Everybody has choices. Either you do it, you don't, you will, or you won't. And if you choose to go up in there, then you know what you're going to get. If you come over here to Newstoter's spaces, you're going to get intellectual conversations. And you're probably going to laugh and joke along the way. And ain't nothing wrong with that. And I'm going to end it there. But I enjoyed this conversation. I do want to hear what Original has to say about Georgia when he gets an opportunity, because I know he's gonna bring it and tell us the real deal what they're doing down there. And I just want to thank y'all for the space, because I love to hear young Black people speaking politics, because politics affects every area of your life. And if you do Black politics, then you might come out okay. That's it.
Appreciate it, sister. And let me just give a quick update in the Walker Warnock race. Warnock is up. He has 50.1% of the vote to Walker's 49.9. He has a 9,026 lead. That's what CNN is reporting right now. 88% of the precincts is in at this point. Warnock has 1,519,942. Walker has 1,510,916,000. So it's a nail biter. Almost 12, almost the entire precinct is almost in terms of voting and stuff like that. 12% more left to go. So it's really, really a close race at this point in time right now. So he's up by 9,026 votes. You got it, Professor. And once again, no taxation. I appreciate you, sister, as always, coming into the spaces, enlightening us, and sharing a great conversation with us as well. So thank you. Go ahead, Professor.
Thank you, and I too would like to thank you too, Sister No Taxation. You always bring the education. You and Sister Trouble, love you both. So thank you both for that. And Sister Rilla, I guess she dropped out of the space, but she always brings it too. And by the way, y'all see Sister Dana down there. That's another wonderful space to go into. Sister Dana, go into her spaces too.
Yeah, also subscribe to her YouTube channel as well too. Not to cut you off, Professor. I'm sorry about that, but if you guys are on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the Real Dana. Go ahead and subscribe to her YouTube channel. She's always her and Judge Joe Brown. They're always doing videos together. So go ahead and check her out as well too.
Now on this immigration bill, y'all, basically just to give you the brief of this, because I read up on it earlier while I was at work. They sneaking this stuff in. You know, this is why you have to pay attention to these politicians. That's the Democrats and these Republicans. They do the same type shit. You got Kristen Sinema, and I know y'all have heard that name. Democrat out of Arizona. And then you have Tom Tillis, who's a Republican out of North Carolina. It seems what has happened is they both have been able to make a deal across the lines, across the table, to have what they would call a quick pathway for these undocumented people. At least around 2 million undocumented people can come into the country. 2 million undocumented. Now you hear what I'm saying, right? 2 million. Then they're gonna give extra funds for border security. So this is this quick pathway to get 2 million undocumented people into this country. Now we already got a bunch of these folks all up in here that we don't know how many we have up in here, and we don't know who they are. We don't know what the fuck they have done, excuse my French, because they have let so many of these folks up in here already. So this quick pathway that Kristen Sinema and Tom Tillis have come up with is to allow 2 million undocumented people to come into this country. A very quick pathway, y'all. I'm hoping that this don't pass, but it seems like it's both Republicans and Democrats have reached this deal. It's a possibility that it might pass. We as Black Americans need to stay on top of this. Now, that's why I wanted to come up here and go ahead and give y'all a brief synopsis of what's happening, so we know now what is going on. Y'all spread the word out to everybody across Twitter land, Black Twitter land, social. If you got our people on social, go there and spread the word. I want all Black Americans to be on alert about this.
This is a quick pathway to allow more of these illegals, 2 million, into the country. That's the synopsis of this. I'm going to land my plane there.
Professor, it's called you guys are talking about the U.S. Citizenship Act, right?
Yeah, it's the one that Kristen Cinema and Tom Taylor's reached the deal on.
Talk about the dreamers, yeah.
Yep, I was multitasking, so my brain had to be split. Okay, I'm gonna go look at it now.
Let me ask you a quick question, Professor. Is the word dreamers anywhere in there?
That's exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, they try to get. I'll tell you what it is. You know, Obama made them promises. I think it was every 2 years he said he was gonna do something with the dreamers. He never did anything. Remember? And then Trump came out and said he don't give a damn about the dreamers. Okay, and we was cool with it. But they got to do something with those people. And so, and I can see Biden doing that, not just because he needs to keep those people voting for him, but also voting Democrat, but also because they're held, they're in a stalemate, and they done let all these other people up. So, they had to do something about those dreamers. I believe that those people have been in this country all their lives. Those were the children that was born here. What they need to do is stop saying if you have a baby over here, that the baby is an American. See, that don't mean nothing. If you have your baby, because see, the Russian women, Trump let the Russian women and the rest of them go down to Florida when he was president. If you go down to Florida and have a baby, they was coming over here pregnant. Then they have American citizenship. And so it's all a game. That's why I said nobody wants to touch immigration, because it's very convoluted. It's just like going into the IRS and trying to fix something, or going into the Treasury and trying to fix something. It's very convoluted. But they have to do something with their dreams. They was gonna have to do that.
Yeah, I actually got the article here. I just didn't read it because we started going into it and whatnot. But pretty much it's about the dreamers, and it's also about I'll just touch up on it real quick. Just a couple of highlights. They're talking about the framework for the bill has at least $25 billion to $40 billion in border security funding, including a pay raise for Border Patrol agents and additional resources for Customs and Border Protection officers, according to two Senate aides. It also shores up resources to speed up the processing of asylum seekers at the U.S.-Mexico border, the aide said. Most notably, the framework includes the extension of controversial Trump-era policy known as Title 42 that allows for the expulsion of migrants who are encountered at the U.S. southern border. The Public Health Authority, which puts into place at the onset of the coronavirus pandemic, is set to end later this month following a court order. That's just part of it. It's also, like I say, it's about the path to citizenship too, really, for a lot of these actual the DACA recipients as well too. So it's supposed to be dealing with some stuff about the Trump administration that he had going on with the Title 42, but mainly it's also about trying to give a path to citizenship for these actual DACA these actual DACA immigrant children and stuff, like you said. So it was always if you could have a child on American soil and that child is an American, that's something that I believe should be actually changed. That I never really thought that was a good policy. Basically, your parents are immigrants and stuff like that, and as long as you have a child on American soil, you just get here, you have a child, and that child's American. Will it ever change? I don't know, but it's something I thought really never really made sense to me. Volvo, I see you got your hands up. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, I just want to say, I came back up because I heard somebody mention about the anchor babies, about how you have a baby over here that's automatically American. There's a video out here where Trump is saying that that's ridiculous, and I believe that is ridiculous. You mean to tell me you come over here and you 12 months pregnant, and you holding on to the baby until you get over here just to have a baby over here and to anchor yourself to this country? Come on now, that's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And I also want to touch one last time. I want to stress this, y'all, that we got to build a wall around Black America, because the white people don't suffer at the hands of these the immigrants are taught to come over here and hate us. The African is saying, stay away from the economy, stay away from the Black American.
the Latinos teach lighten up the race, purify the race, better the race. They teach this stuff to their children. So that's why we're suffering at the hands of these people. The Asians want to be white. They worship white people. So all these groups coming over here and they're taught to hate us. So we're the ones suffering at the hands of these immigrants. So I just wanted to stress that again. I'm gonna drop back down. We really need to build a wall around Black America, and the wall need to be a code of conduct. I appreciate you, bro.
Real quick, y'all, let me give y'all an update. Right now, they got it almost at 50-50. It's 1,000. It's 1,593 votes. I believe that's separating the two of them. It was 1,000 and something that's separating them. It's a little over 1,000. Warnock has 1,593, 861,000. Walker has 1,591,939. So it's basically almost too close to call. 91% of the actual vote is in. So it is, like I said, it's a nail biter going on right now. You got it, Reed.
Real quick, where'd you get that from, News? Is that off Google or what?
That was CNN. I just checked CNN. So yeah, that's what CNN is projecting. You know how CNN be sometimes, but they got it right now. They got it almost dead even. It's 1,000, a little over 1,000 votes separating the two of them. Reed, you can come off your mic. You gonna mute your mic.
Hey, okay, sorry guys. So look, I'm on Congress.gov and I'm pulling up. There's two bills. There might be more than two. So while we focusing on the one, there's another one that could possibly do the same thing. And one is, of course, the DREAM Act bill that you're talking about. The DREAM Act of 2021. It's S.264. I posted it in the chat. It was introduced, it says February 4th, 2021. It's been introduced. It has not passed the Senate yet. It has not been brought up, and they're probably waiting. I'm not sure, but I have to go and do some more research on that. And the other bill, is the U.S. Citizenship Act. That was introduced by Representative Sanchez, Linda T. Sanchez. She's a Democrat out of California. And that was also introduced 428 to the House 2021. So you have one that was introduced in the Senate and one introduced in the House, looks like. Let me make sure. Let me go back. So referred to the Committee of the Judiciary. All right, yeah, the Senate. So the DREAM Act was introduced to the Senate, and then the U.S. citizenship was introduced to the House. So they are going to try to make it a double whammy, and they're going to, again, this is what I was talking about when I tell you guys to crash the boards, because we need representation to crash the boards, and we have not gotten that from the Republicans or the Democrats or the independents, who do end up winning their seats when they introduce bills. So that's another way to look at these bills that are coming out of the House and the Senate. So I'm gonna read through these bills and figure out if they're talking about the same thing. So they're probably looking to see if they can get either one passed, and if that's the case, then they would win either way. So we have to look at all parameters. And I don't think anybody's wrong in this situation. I'm talking about Warnock and Walker. They both are equally as dangerous, because one could be taken advantage of, as you saw Walker when he was actually on TV, how I think physically he was being, manipulated by Lindsey Graham, and the one with the turkey neck. What's the one with the turkey neck?
McConnell.
Yeah, I always say he looked like an uncircumcised, but he got that. He just always looked lost. Something is just always.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Damn, like damn. Oh boy.
That's who's running it in trouble. I know.
Yes.
Yeah, that's who's running it. You know, Mitch McConnell runs Capitol Hill. He's the most dangerous man on Capitol Hill. And I'm going to tell you why. Not just because he's done a lot of time up there, which he has. Not just because he has a Bank of China in Kentucky, which he has. Not because he's married to a Chinese woman and came from a billionaire family and she's a billionaire herself. Not just because of that, but because he knows where all the bones are buried.
Mm-hmm. And he probably buried some of his stuff.
Oh, he did. He did. But I want you to check that second bill. That's what I came on here to say. Check that second bill.
I am. I'm gonna go through it.
See how much movement
they both.
Yeah. See.
So they both say introduced. They haven't gone anywhere. It hasn't stayed like it's gone to the next phase. But I'm gonna look into both of those. The other thing was what the hell was I saying? So Warnock, yeah, he looked like an uncircumcised. Yeah, okay, we passed that. But anyway, sorry, I was running it back through my brain. But I believe those two would actually take Walker and pretty much run him down, like No Taxation said, and actually literally write his bills and tell him sign here. And then with Warnock, I have not done a full-fledged detail into Warnock past what he's done in the last few years. The last year, excuse me. On the surface, only the surface level work. And again, somebody who has Martin Luther King Jr.'s name that he uses all the time, it's really sad because I feel like we can't really even enjoy the things that our legends have left behind because you have people who pretty much are in positions where they're literally just abusing the symbols of what these people mean or meant to our communities, whether you like the Democratic Party or not. Just the appreciation piece. And so it's hard. And I can see that happening with the younger generation, really trying to understand why we had such great leaders, but we haven't gotten anything out of it,
Real quick, it's up right now. Right now, Warnock is up by 802 votes. 802 votes is what separate the both of them.
802 votes. Okay. And then, like I said about toxic spaces earlier, and Trouble is exactly right. You know how to hit the leave button. Sometimes you have to take, I guess that's the accountability piece that we was talking about yesterday, Dana, in regards to, knowing what it is that you really want to start to do within yourself. So if you want to sit around and, be involved with Ratchet, be involved with Ratchet. Just know you ain't progressing into nothing, past that. If you know that it's not feeding your soul and your spirit and challenge you to do nothing better today or tomorrow, evaluate, take your evaluation and move on. Again, I'm not in the business of pigeonholing nobody, but, when it's time to work, it's time to work. And if you ain't trying to show up to work, don't get mad when somebody say something. So, I'll let my play.
Thank you, sister. I see Sister Trouble's back up. Trouble, go ahead and unmute your mic. But before you do that, guys, make sure you support us on Cash App if you can. If you have $1 that you can contribute, please go ahead and support the largest Black-owned news curation platform today in America. It is $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Once again, $Newstoter. And if you don't have a Cash App, we have the PayPal and the Venmo also in the Jumbotron. Trouble, please go ahead and unmute your mic, sister.
Okay, can you hear me? Because my phone was just sounding like everybody was in the Matrix.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so the first thing I wanted to say was I wonder really if Walker wants to actually win this race, according to some of the off-brand crazy things that he said. To me, as I was listening to some of the foolish things that he says, it kind of felt like he was trying to sabotage his own race so that he wouldn't win. That way he wouldn't have to be holding to whomever it is that's pulling his strings. But then, crazy does. If he can get a bag out of it, who knows? Another thing, you're watching CNN. MSNBC has 94% of the votes in, with Warnock up at 50.4% and
Yeah.
Walker down at 49.
Yeah, he just CNN just updated it, and he has like a 12 or 13,000, a 14,000 lead now. Walker, that was that quick. They updated it, so looked like Walker, whatever chance he had, may be gone now because he was right there. And now, as 93% of the vote came in, and you say MSNBC is saying 94%. Yeah, it's going to be pretty hard to overcome that part right now. But it looks like Warnock should be able to hold on. But go ahead, sister.
Yeah, because he has 1,664,000, and the other guy has 1,638,000 plus. So, yeah, they just projected Warnock as the winner, the incumbent, with a 25,000 difference in the votes. As far as, can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, so I'm looking at Warnock's record for the records for what he's the legislation that he's enacted. He did the Capping Drug Costs for Seniors Act. He did a bill to require the Comptroller General of the United States to conduct a study on the disparities associated with race and ethnicity with respect to certain benefits administered. He did a bill that was enacted to designate the facility of the United States Postal Service in Atlanta as the John Lewis Post Office. Okay, there you go. And he did the Maternal Health Quality Improvement Act. And they're saying that he was the primary sponsor of all four of those bills. He's also sponsored a whole slew of other things, but those are still, I guess, just some things that were introduced. And so I won't go into all of that because it's a lot. But what I was saying earlier, I heard a lot of people saying, well, he did a couple of good things. And so looking at it, that the capping of the drug costs for seniors, that's pretty cool. And I guess, the studies for the disparities associated with race and ethnicities in respect to certain benefits with the Secretary of Veterans Affairs, that's pretty cool for the veterans too. But overall, I don't know. But I just wanted to add that in. Well, let me just say this, Trouble. First of all, they can't pass, and this was under the Obama administration, they can't pass any bill until they do the research on the bill. They have to have the data now, which is good. And the other thing is, I know he did do something for those singers. He better, because those singers in Fulton County, those black singers in Fulton County, Georgia, they're not playing with nobody. If you're not catering to those black senior citizens in Fulton County, Georgia, you need to get out of Fulton County. And that's just what the black folks, the black senior citizens run that. And so he had to do something for them. And, capping the medication costs and stuff like that. I think everybody was for that. That bill, I don't know if it passed or not. It should have passed. And this other bill that he has to study for the inequalities, race and ethnicities. I don't know why he put the ethnicities, but maybe they told him that's the only way it's going to pass if you get it up here. That's been studied before. It's not like they need that study, but he probably has to do that to put it on that bill. I'd like to see what the riders are on the bill, which is something that's very hard to find out. I mean, they won't even tell you if you know somebody, and that's what we're going to have to start really looking at, not necessarily the bill itself, but what's the riders? How come we can't get any legislation through? Is it because of riders on the bill? They play an important role, and this is for you all that are just now getting into the political arena. They play an important role in how bills are passed. You're not going to get a clean bill. We haven't had a clean bill in this country in generations. So, always check to see what the riders are and who put the riders on there. Mitch McConnell has a lot to do with that, and that's really how bills do get passed. Is more because of the riders and less because of the bill itself and the agreement on the bill. And I just want to throw that out there for the people. Trouble, I knew you knew that, but thank you for that information. I appreciate that. Yeah, they're saying they don't tell about the riders, but they do say that there were 6 co-sponsors who are all Democrats.
All righty. Well, y'all, I guess on that note, we'll go ahead and we'll get ready to close the space out for the night. Appreciate everybody coming through and supporting as always. Once again, we had another great space. And this is like a third. Whoa, we had a election, the midterm election night. We had a what earlier in November, whatever. So this is like our second election night that we held here. So props to everybody who came out and support the space, all the speakers and all the listeners and everybody who tweeted out. Make sure, guys, you go ahead and tweet out the actual link as well too to the actual to the space, so your followers can go ahead and get a chance to listen to the space as well. Go ahead, Ree, you got your hand up.
Yeah, so okay, in that Dream Act, they have something in there called the poverty line. And they pretty much, they're writing in specifically that they are not going to be under the poverty line. And they've actually, and I'm gonna have to definitely go look up the Block Grant Act, which actually supports the poverty line in that bill. So this is going to be a huge, this is definitely going to be a huge issue. But we also can take these bills, and now we have something to go at them, because it actually shows in detail how these representatives who actually have Black constituents in their district or in their state, that they are not representing the American freedmen or any of the Black people, Black Americans that are in the district in the same light. Because you can tell with this bill and the Asian bill, which is the COVID-19 bill, they were very detailed and meticulous, and they also entered, the people who co-sponsored entered other bills within the bill to support the things that they're moving and doing. So if they get these two bills signed, it's a wrap for us, pretty much. That's what I'm saying.
Let me just say this for the people that don't know in the room. The Block Grant money, that used to be ours. We fought for that. That was Black money. And so now they give it to the dreamers. But there you go. That's what they're doing with us now. We're out at their end. And we said that in the 70s. We were trying to make people aware of that during the 1970s. And this is 2022. You all are the generation we've been waiting on. Okay? And thank you, Newstoter, for the space.
Thank you, sister. Go ahead, Professor.
I was just going to add, everything Sister Willie is saying and Sister no taxation is saying is very true, everybody. These block grants, that was ours. And now they're giving all of the money, anything that belongs to us is going to these damn immigrants. This should be firing our people up. Our people have to get up off this dead shit and get out here and watch everything that these politicians are doing. This is something that they're trying to strip by us, everybody. So pay attention to what the politicians are doing. I know a lot of people say, well, I don't like to watch politics. This is why I watch C-SPAN. I watch C-SPAN because I want to know what these folks are up to. You got to keep an eye on what these politicians are doing.
Absolutely. You got to stay updated as much as possible. And another way to stay updated, like you say, watch all of them, even the Fox talking points, MSNBC, CBS, hear all of them. Like, here, get different perspectives on everything as well too. So definitely go ahead and update your information as much as possible, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and kick it to the two co-hosts. You guys got something y'all want to go ahead and add on to the night?
Great space. Thanks everybody for coming out.
Appreciate it, Ray. What about you, DJ?
As usual, great space. We agree to agree, and reparations up and getting the Jumbotron. You know what it is.
Alrighty, y'all. On that note, we're not going to hold everybody up. We'll go ahead and see you guys tomorrow. As always, y'all have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow night on the Newstoter Space. Take care, everybody.